A little hot dog. Hello,
He looks
everybody.
stupid.
Welcome back to Dungeon of the Mad Mage. We are back from break. When we left our party, they had spent some time exploring the halls of Dwarmencore, talking to the Drow Mage, Elon Freth, and then making their way towards the offices of Wormriddle, the theoretical vice principal of the Magic Academy. And they have just left a conversation with the Tiefling Violence, one of the two horned sisters, and they now stand in a hallway outside of the Abjuration classroom. And within this hallway, they hear they hear a strange, quiet giggling coming from the east. What would you all
Perfect. Let's
like
go
to
find
do?
the small child giggling in the darkness.
Let's go find the small child giggling in the darkness.
Doesn't sound like a good. Okay.
Excuse me.
Excuse me, no playing with electricity.
Right, electricity kills the puppy.
Maybe, get some
You say that,
chicken
but
wire or.
Arthur bit a live power cord all the way through, blew a fuse, and was fine.
Well, fine.
A lot about them, honestly.
That actually does explain a lot about Arthur, honestly. I bet he was looking at you like this.
Well, so he at the time he came in here and I could tell he did something wrong, right? Because whenever Arthur does something bad, he's kind of like.
Trying to be like,
He knows he was bad, and so his ass comes in here. I'm like, what the fuck did you do?
What did you do?
And the fuse had blown a little bit earlier, but occasionally at the time, for a while there, I must have had something configured wrong in my room where it was popping every few days, and I'd have to just switch it back on.
I remember that,
so I thought it was just a
actually.
normal.
Yeah.
I thought it was just a normal thing, and I was like, whatever. And so he came in, and he was acting bad. I'm like, what are you doing? And so I went out there, and I found I had an external GPU that I use for playing games out on the computer games.
Oh, I remember
TV.
that.
Yeah, and he chewed completely through the power cable, literally separated one end of the power cable from the wall, and there's bits of the cord everywhere. I was terrified he was gonna get clogged up after swallowing some of it. I don't think he actually swallowed it. I don't think he swallowed any of it. I think he literally chewed it and spit it out.
Dumbass dog.
we got a kill cord.
Yeah,
And that's
And
a
so-
smart breed.
and then he freaking so that blew the power supply on the external GPU. Couldn't use it anymore. It's
Gone. Done.
It's a doorstop now.
it's a doorstop now. Expensive ass doorstop.
I'm glad that Odie is too lazy to go chewing or gnawing on anything. Okay.
I get the mesh or chicken wire or something.
Right? Bitters,
Right.
something. So,
Well,
you guys make it.
Following vinegar. We tried that.
You tried
He likes it.
He likes it.
Nom, 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 nom,
Yep.
nom, 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 nom.
Arthur was the
Nice.
same way.
Very
Arthur's like,
nice.
"Ah, I love bitters.
Say what? Oh, I guess that's fair. Grew out of it though.
Really likes metal too. Really likes it.
That's weird.
I can't get him to I can't get him to leave the downspout alone. And right now
Oh.
he's licking the metal leg to my couch pullout. Oh, and he loves chewing on the porch. The actual porch, the concrete porch, loves it.
Okay, the concrete is a little strange to me, but I was gonna say it's possible that he has an iron deficiency or something like that in reference to the other things. Sometimes we used to raise cattle and pigs and chickens and things like that, and sometimes animals that had iron deficiencies would go for the metal posts that we used to fence and things like that, and they would actually lick them or try to gnaw at them. So
Actually, an interesting thing. I'll mention that at the vet.
Or he's
Possible.
also, starting to tease.
Yeah, it's
anything that
probably
then-
just that,
T-shirt or
right?
something.
Like,
Yeah.
absolutely. But,
Excuse me,
It's-
you
who
have tons
knows?
of stuff. Those are my pants. Look at this.
I will say it's a really easy test for a vet to run. So at the very least, it's not a horrendous thing to look into. So,
Yeah.
anyways, moving on. You guys begin to walk
Hey, we're playing D&D.
down. Yeah, no, we've been so chatty tonight. You guys begin to walk down this hallway. And as you do, that kind of like faint giggling becomes louder and louder. But it seems to apparate from all around you. No specific location and no obvious source. By the time you have arrived at the end of the hallway, the faint giggling is quite loud, actually, as if a small child is standing next to you. But there is nothing to show for it, except for a door leading southward that is labeled as Wormriddle's office. Or, sorry, it's not Wormriddle's office, it's Wormriddle's workshop.
Oh, that feels less inviting. Well, let's go see what's in there.
I'll
Open
walk
the
up to the door. I'll like. All right, it's open.
Right, like Ashes goes to rap on the door, and Matashtai just opens the fucking door. This
Whoa.
is the danger of having open doors, right? Like
What
having
is
doors
this,
for the
like,
players. So
inverted grid?
you open the door.
Dark.
You open the door, and it is thick black smoke inside. You can see nothing within, and it is cloying, choking. Matashtai and Ashes, you both step in, undaunted, into the haze, right? I immediately need both of you to roll me Constitution saving throws.
Oh boy, an entire room. Where you have to make Constitution.
DC is 11.
That's not bad.
There's
That's
no way
fine.
Ashes can fail this,
Yes.
right?
Nailed it.
It was close.
Hey,
Oh, yeah, very
Oh.
close.
Easy
I was,
peasy.
it was rocking on the 5
uh,
for a little bit.
You both step in, right? And you realize you are walking in after a heartbeat, right? Like you step in and you're breathing normally, you're looking about, you see nothing because it's darkness, pitch black within the gloomy haze of smoke, and you realize, oh, this is just smoke. This is just burning smoke, like, and you're like, oh shit.
Oh
And you
god.
kind of like, you catch your breath, and you're like covering your mouths now, and you realize you've just walked into a burning building smoke-wise. This place is filled with smoke, and you can feel the heat coming from nearby braziers. But you look behind you, right, and you can see kind of like out into the hallway through the dim haze, right? Like the smoke, even though you've opened the door, the smoke is not leaving. It's not exiting the room. It's trapped here.
I
So
want to
you're-
go. I'll go prone real quick just to see if it's.
Oh
like,
yeah, okay,
if it's-
okay,
if
totally,
it's-
yeah. You go prone, and your instincts are right. Like your instincts. We'll say it's like some training, some throwback to like the order, the wood of sharp teeth,
Firefighting
etc., etc.
order.
Yeah. Right. Like
Yeah.
you gotta you deal with dark shit. You gotta know how to fight fires just in case, right? Like you know, you never
Yeah,
know
yeah.
when a
Smokey the
demon's
Bear
gonna
was
torch a
actually a
village.
werebear.
Look, and like so you throw yourself to the ground, and there is like a couple of inches of kind of like adulterated air, but there's not as much as you might expect there to be in like a burning building, because whatever ventilation this place has is slight enough to keep it from completely filling with smoke, but not enough to keep it from like mostly filling with smoke. So you realize if you walk around in this place nonchalantly, both Ashes and Matashtai, you realize if you just casually walk around this place, your lungs are gonna fill with smoke and you're gonna have problems.
From the
So,
outside-
exit out of the room real quick.
I'm gonna take a step back.
Absolutely.
Do Bones and
I'm
I
gonna
see
put-
this while this is happening?
So
at
yeah,
all?
you can see it's not just like a black wall. Sorry, there's no really great way to represent this in Roll20 with lighting. It's not just a black wall. There is kind of like a dim haze, and you see Ashes and Matashtai step into it, so you can see them, and you actually see Ashes kind of like drop down to the ground to try to like get under the smoke, and with some limited success, but it's hazy, it's shadowy, it's hard to see much into the room. Like, you can kind of see their figures, and you can kind of get a guess, an estimate of the size and shape of the room based off of the light that filters in from where you're at, right? I say light, but I don't actually think there's any light here. It's just due to your dark vision. But you can't make out any details of the room itself.
And it seems like there's some sort of a barrier to the
Yes.
smoke?
Yeah, there absolutely seems like the smoke is not coming out towards you. It's a solid wall of just like haze. Like, you could put your hand up against it and be like, I'm in the haze, I'm out of the haze. I'm in the haze, I'm out of the haze. I'm into the haze, out of the haze.
Alright, Jimmy, I want to try something. I don't know if it'll work, but so I've got a cap of water breathing, which in its name would not work. But it specifically says that it creates a bubble of air around my head.
Okay.
I want to try and turn on my cap of water breathing and walk in there.
You turn on your cap of water breathing as Ezra's kind of like at the doors, kind of studying this. You turn on your cap of water breathing. I'm assuming you ran out with Ashes and now have turned it back on and are walking back in. And as you walk in, your kind of like instinctive reaction is to be like, you know, right? Like, just in case. I don't. And your bubble of air, as it so works, seems safe. You are protected from the smoke that is filling the room. Now, it doesn't help you see anything or make anything out necessarily, right? But you now have no concerns insofar as just breathing within the chamber.
Okay. So, like, can I not see anything? Like, I see there's doors, obviously.
No, so I will say,
those
like, you can see the general size and shape of the room, and that there are exits leaving the room, right? But you can't make out any specifics within the room itself, right? Like, you can feel heat coming from multiple locations in the room, but you can't tell if there's like torches or braziers or bonfires or anything like that. You don't know if there's a hole in the center of the room plummeting 3,000 feet. You can just kind of tell the room is shaped like this, and there's some doors probably in those general directions.
Okay, I speak my command word to my rope of climbing and tell it to wrap itself around me and then go to Ash's hands.
Okay, you all hear this, right? Like, you all hear Matashtai use his rope of command's command word, and you see all of a sudden the rope zoop out of the room and up into Ash's hands.
All right.
I'm gonna kind of talk back towards the group and say, I'm gonna check it out, see if there's anyone stuck in here. Maybe
I ripped the shit out of it mid-sentence.
you have a lot of slack. Nothing happened.
Yeah, I throw my arm out. Ah.
Oh god.
I mean, I could try and clear out the smoke if you don't want to, suffocate.
Sure, go for it. I'm not suffocating, but that's fine.
You can breathe.
You
Smoke?
you saw him activate the bubble helm, right? And it creates like this physical like little clear thing around his head. And he's used it for swimming before. You've never seen him use it for this type of situation though. But you see him, you watch him walk into it.
For it.
Okay, I go walking in.
Okay.
I head towards the leftmost door first.
Okay. I'm watching. I want you to trace the path that you are using while you do so.
I mean, fuck it, yeah, I'm just gonna go
Yeah.
straight there because
Yeah.
you said there might be
Yeah.
a hole in the middle. I
Yeah.
gotta find that out.
I see him dancing back and forth for a second.
I didn't mean to go further down by accident.
Okay. You begin to walk further into the room. As you do, you feel as if there is a heat source on your left. And then as you're walking further into the room, you feel like you walk away from it. And then you feel like you're walking closer to a heat source. But before you do, you kind of like come towards a hazy edge where there is a door.
Okay.
And you can clearly see there's almost kind of like a little bit of a barrier, like a couple of inches of nothingness, right? Of clear air where the smoke is trapped, and you can see as you're kind of like approaching that there's a door outlined here.
Okay, I'm gonna try to open the door.
Go ahead.
Oh, right, I can do that, can't I? Open the door.
Okay. No, before you enter, real quick, because you would see this. So pop back to your your previous location, real quick.
Okay.
You see, I will read to you beyond. What you see as you open the door beyond is a room filled with wooden trestle tables, 4 of which are covered in stained white sheets. And it's pretty clear that there are figures laying under the sheets. There's a 5th table as well, surrounded by patches of a dry red substance, covered with saws, needles, spools of black thread, and what looks to be like slabs of decaying flesh. Next to this table is a barrel, and you see jutting up out of the barrel arms and legs.
Okay.
Huh.
Aside from that, from where you are at, I'm going to say because of your bubble helmet, you actually don't smell a whole lot, right? Because I'm going to say it's basically like a purified air filter around your head, right?
Nice.
Meaning that you are not hit by the overwhelming stench of the 4 creatures that you see standing within the chamber beyond.
Oh, God. Okay.
You see looming around this laboratory the rotting but mobile carcasses of multiple flesh golems. They stand in place, unresponsive to your presence. For now.
I close the door and walk away.
Rotting but mobile is a great status update.
Perfect. Perfect.
So you said that there was a heat source right near me right now?
There seems to be a heat source to the south of you. You left a heat source when you were close to the other entrance, but you seem to be approaching a heat source.
Okay. Am I closer now?
It's getting warmer.
How about here?
Super hot. Very hot. You've walked right up next to something very, very hot. Hot, 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 hot.
Okay. I'm gonna pour water on it. Try to put it out.
Okay, so you like take out some water skins or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Roll me a perception check.
Okay. Well.
Okay, like you're it's not that you can't perceive it, it's that you're hesitant, right? Like your natural instinct is I don't want to be burned, right? So I don't want to touch the hot thing. So you're being cautious, right? About your like, oh, let's water in this direction, right? You know? And you hear some sizzling and some splashing and things like that, but you can't quite determine exactly what you're interacting with. And because of the bubble helmet around you, you don't get like a The only response you're getting is a touch one, like a heat response, right? And an audible response. You're not getting a smell, right, because of the bubble around your head, and you're obviously not getting any sight-related thing because it's just pitch black smoke here.
Okay.
But you hear the sizzle. You're throwing water on something real fucking hot. It's just not doing much of anything.
Seem to be changing.
Yeah.
Okay. That seems ineffective. I kind of shout back to the guys, and I mention that there's clearly some hot things making the smoke in here, but my water bottles didn't seem to turn it off.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna kind of walk across to the other side. Oh, I see that there's a lock on that, but I wouldn't know that till I get there. So I'm gonna try and open this door.
Interesting. I'm glad. Thank you for that information. So now I know that players see that doors are locked. I don't think that there's anything that I can do to change that. So I think it is what it is. But yes, as you go to try this door, you notice that it is locked. And you're unable to determine anything else about it because of the darkness in the room, right? But you do feel, right, like as you have crossed that room, you have left one heat source, right? And you've gotten closer to another heat source, but not drastically. With your passive perception, no roll needed, it does feel like there's a heat source in the northeast of the room and the southwest of the room. Okay?
Alright. I share that with the guys as I'm walking blind in here. And then I guess I'm gonna continue down to the southernmost door.
Okay. While Matashtai is kind of poking around in this shit, what is everyone else doing? You can hear him occasionally calling back to each of you with information. But around you, while you're just casually kind of like waiting, you hear that giggling, and you can see the smoke billowing up against this barricade before you. Anybody doing anything? Or are we just waiting for a Matashtai, which is perfectly fine? Or are we just waiting for Matashtai to explore the danger?
I address the laughing child. Something funny?
Roll a perception check.
I roll to perceive. I get advantage from my perception shield.
You do.
Yeah. 20.
Oh, meets it. You
Wow, really?
You feel a hand reaching into one of your pockets.
I slap it with my tail.
You slap yourself with your tail.
Hey guys, he's got a prehensile tail.
What the fuck?
And you hear that giggling kind of like raise in like sharpness and volume for a moment, and then fade back to where it was.
Wait, then who has the rope?
Oh, bye, Matt.
Oh, were you holding the rope in your tail?
I was the one that holding the rope. Did I drop the rope to pickpocket myself?
You weren't pickpocketing yourself. You felt a hand go into one of your pockets, and then you tried to slap it with your tail, but there wasn't anything there.
Damn, that's creepy,
Where
bro.
are you, little shit?
Not about this life, Jeremy.
Ezra or Bones, anything going on with you two? Or are you just waiting for Matashtai to do his thing?
Do I see any runes or anything in the doorframe that are creating this
Ooh.
barrier?
This is an odd thing for me to ask of Ezra, but Ezra rolled me a perception check.
Can I not do that? And
Nope.
do something else?
Not in this particular instance.
Alright, I decided that I wasn't going to be a shithead.
Oh, 17. Yeah, okay. So you notice the same thing that Matashtai has noticed, right? That the smoke is barricaded, but it's not barricaded exactly with the door frame. It's barricaded a few inches inside the room within the door frame, which means that there's a few inches revealed that aren't covered with smoke. And it's hard to really like see at first, because at first your eyes kind of like blend everything as it kind of like filters into the pitch dark ookiness of the smoky land, right? But after looking at it for a few moments, you realize that there is a faint glow coming from an archway, the interior of the door, right? Not on the side you're on, but on the inside, right? And because of that, right, with noticing that, you're able to, if you so choose, just give me a nod if you so choose, to kind of like look on the inside, okay? And you do indeed see there is kind of like an arch of sigils of runes across the door frame on the inside. Roll me an Arcana check.
I will use a Sork point. And I will roll the same goddamn thing.
Haha! Yeah, so I mean, I think with the 14, Ezra is able to determine that clearly there is some sort of magic here that is causing something. You've seen a couple of things like this throughout Dwemercore already. You're not 100% sure as to exactly what the nature is or what it's trying to do. You could determine that with the use of magic yourself, potentially. But at a glance, it's kind of like a little... Oh, are you going to dispel it? Okay.
Oh, magic
About to
hammer!
get real smoky in this hall.
Oh,
He's using the magic hammer, guys.
Oh, shit.
Magic hammer!
I'm so excited.
I need you to make me a spellcasting ability check.
Ooh, spellcasting ability check.
Your DC
When
is
did you get magic hammer?
Your DC is a 15. Oh, smashes it out of the
That'll do.
fucking park. Holy shit, is that a natural 19? Hot damn, nicely done. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're able to, now that you realize, right, that there are these runes across the doorway, you are able to isolate them, and with a thought, you kind of go, huh. And you begin to kind of like incant and move your hand. As you do, you see a couple of the sigils, a couple of the runes erase from the doorway, right? And as soon as they do, you see immediately, not like a torrent, but like the barrier fades and the smoke begins to out of the room and into the hallway and up into the ceiling above you, right? And you realize if you give it a few minutes, right? Like this room, it's no longer gonna be clouded with darkness, right? Like it will be for a few more minutes potentially. So Matashtai is still in the thick of things, but you have released whatever this barrier is holding the smoke in place. What do you want to do in response to having caused that? Because Matashtai doesn't know you've done this.
I back out of the room and watch.
You're not going to tell him anything? Okay.
I assume
alright.
he's still shouting stuff off, because this is probably happening while he's...
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely happening while. Okay. Matashtai, you have just shouted that there is a locked door and that there's some heat sources, right? And then you further investigate more of the room.
As the smoke's like billowing into the hallway, and be like, yeah, what else you see in there, buddy?
A
This
door!
one
And I open the door.
Open the door.
Oh, right, I can open this one. I
Okay.
opened it.
You see let me read for you. You kind of like poke your head out of the smoke, and you see beyond. You see a hallway leading southward. A large hallway, 20 foot wide, right? Almost stately, grand in its design. And you see from your position, to the east and west, not far south of this doorway, are two massive 9-foot tall, grand. We're talking almost kind of like Lord of the Rings style, like grandiose Halaster Blackcloak statues standing, facing across from one another, staffs held out towards each other.
Found some cool statues of Halaster.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think my rope is 100 feet. Let me double check. Rope of climbing.
Ashes,
60
while
foot. I might
Matashtai
be
is
near
moving
the end.
around, while Matashtai is moving around, you do feel the occasional kind of like tug on the rope, right? As you kind of like hold it, and it's slowly being fed out. You feel a little bit of resistance, but nothing that's kind of like, yeah, right?
Something that doesn't feel like
Yeah.
like a signal, like a ding ding.
So have you reached the end of your rope, Matashtai?
I'm at the end of my rope.
Okay. What would you like to do now?
I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm coming back.
Did he say pull?
I like to think that Matashtai begins to walk back, and there's a little bit of a playful yank. Matashtai, please roll a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Sweet.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna say, Ashes, please roll an athletics check, and that is the DC that Matashtai is trying to beat. So it's not automatically a failure.
I think it is. I don't think he can roll lower than.
Oh, it's Jay.
Athletic.
It's Jay.
Well,
It's not con save, so he's fine.
No. Okay. Matashtai, you call back. I think I've reached. I'm coming back, and you feel this tug, and you're kind of like, "Whoa!" and you land on your ass, and you're dragged for about 5 feet. You feel a little bit of like a bruised tailbone, right?
I yell out and I just lay there, dead weight.
Ashes, you do feel like that kind of like, oh shit, tug, and you're like, okay, well, fine, fuck it, joke's up, and you start to drag and drag and drag until Matashtai, you get to this point. At which point,
uh-oh.
the room starts to clear up a little bit.
Oh.
I'd
Okay.
stand up and go running, drop kicking ashes
Like,
out of the smoke.
the second I start feeling like I've got my shield up. Like I know it's coming.
You all see the smoke begin to slowly but surely clear from the chamber now that Ezrah has released, right, the barrier on the northern half. The smoke now has a different location to escape from, but aside from whatever slight ventilation was here previously, right? Matashtai, as it is fading, obviously it's not perfectly clear yet, right? Like there's still smoke in the room, but as it is fading, you're getting drug along the ground, and you're like, all right, fuck it, and you leap, you do the Mortal Kombat leap up onto your feet and like rush at Ashes type scenario. And you all see before you this chamber begin to kind of reveal itself, and it's a relatively plain chamber. There are 2 braziers, one in the northeast and one in the southwest. There are a couple of doors about the room. One door that is left open to the south, as Matashtai has opened it and then left it open to reveal the statues beyond. But there's no holes leading down further, right? There's no clear pitfalls or traps. There's no strange iconography or anything like that.
I point at the door to the west and say, bunch of bodies in there and a couple of golem. What's 4? So a couple's 2, a fuse 3. What's 4?
Several.
3 more.
3 or more? Several. There are several golems in there.
A gaggle. A
A
gaggle,
gaggle
of
of
gold.
golems.
I like a gaggle of golems. That's nice.
Happen to find old worm riddle?
A sloth of flesh golems.
Gross.
They are sloth-like. I will give you that.
I did not find Worm Riddle, but there is a door to the southeast there, which is locked. Couldn't open it.
Did you knock?
No,
That's a good question. Did you not?
did not.
I go knock.
Ashes boldly. Do you still have hold of the rope?
No, I would have let that go.
Okay. Ashes drops the rope next to you, Matashtai.
I coil it back to myself like a belt.
Very nice. And then Ashes just very boldly strides across the room. You do see that these two braziers, right, are continuing to billow black smoke out from them. But because of the opening that Ezrah has created, right, it now has a place to escape, so it's not filling the room like it was. Although it is still kind of like smoky in here. It's still annoying.
In her own room.
Right?
Does it seem like it has dispersed enough that
It's
I'm not going to
safe.
die? Or...
Yeah, it's safe to breathe in at this current point in time. As long as this exit remains for the smoke, then it's safe.
Nope.
Do
I see the same runes along the...
You do. You see the same runes along each of the inside doors of this chamber. All 4 of them have the same runes across them to prevent the smoke from exiting. Ashes, you knock. And after a brief moment, you hear a voice respond to you. You hear, "What? Who is it? I'm busy!"
Vice Principal Wormriddle?
What? I don't recognize your voice! Why are you in here?
New.
What?
We're new.
What? What?
We're new students.
The door, you hear this click. You hear this click, and the door unlocks, and it opens, and you see beyond. I'll just show you. You see this individual?
Hello.
Okay, I don't want. Way, get out of here.
She looked like a troll
Kinda.
from World of Warcraft.
You see.
You're a big picture?
I'm trying to get there. I'm having technical difficulties. Game, why you do this? Show the players.
Oh,
wow.
shit.
Night hag.
You're way cooler looking than the other ones.
Oh yeah.
And equally terrifying.
Yeah. So you see this purple-skinned, dark-haired, horned figure standing before you. And she has multiple things kind of like floating around her, like little ghostly apparitions. You see she has multiple shrunken heads attached to her belt. And she's kind of like cloaked and hobbled over, hunched over. And you smell this kind of like rancid smell coming from her. Just like, oh my
From someone who makes flesh golems? No.
oh my god. Like, holy shit. And you see as she's kind of like looking about, She doesn't look at you directly, Ashes, right? So like she looks about first and she's like, "What? What? Where's all my smoke?" And you see as she kind of like is saying this, you see her mouth open, almost kind of like overly animated, and you see through her rotted teeth worms squirming in between her teeth.
It's gross.
Yeah. We were coming here and
She looks straight up at you now, Ashes, like identifying you and like looking you up and down. And she like pauses for a moment and she like licks her lips. You see a worm creep out of the corner of her mouth and slide across her lower lip and then into the other corner.
Got a little. Anyways, yeah. So we're new, and Ezra's actually got a place in Dissentia, but we wanted to meet with all the teachers.
You say Ezra, and she kind of like looks around. Huh?
He's always a little farther back.
There's a little bit of smoke still kind of like filling the... Where is Ezra right now? Are you
Right
on
there.
someone else?
No, I'm right there. I see.
Yeah, you're on Matashtai. Gotcha. I was like,
Matashtai was
dude.
on me. Get it right.
So she kind of like, she's got, like, there's still a little bit of smoke filling the room, so there's still a little bit of a haze, right? And she kind of like looks past your shoulder, Ashes, and she kind of like sees Ezra there. And she kind of squints, and she's like, and then she sees Matashtai, and she kind of like looks, and she licks her lips, and you see as she licks her lips, you see the worms in her teeth kind of like duck back in the teeth, avoiding the tongue, right? As if like trained in it, right? Like trained in avoidance of the tongue. And she kind of like, she sniffs, she goes, What's that? She kind of like peers through the haze, past your shoulder, Ashes, past Matashtai, past Ezra, and she sees through the gloom the form of bone begin to manifest. And you all hear her yelp loudly. And she steps back and she slams the door shut in your face.
Damn, she's scared of cats?
And abjuration teacher, guys.
And enchantment.
And enchantment.
Love you.
I shout through the door. Hello? Did I do something?
You all hear her scream, "Get rid of it! Get rid of it!"
We've tried.
Oh, I bet you the jag.
It's wonderful. I've saved your life many times.
Oh,
Bet
look,
you it's
watching
dagger.
PX kind of like waddle up from the rear. He's just like, he looks so sleepy.
He is sleepy, but he needs to be awake so he can go to sleep at 10.
Aw, that boy. Sorry, continue.
Get rid of what?
Get rid of the cat! No cats allowed!
He leaves.
That's hurtful.
Odie did leave.
Yeah, just then.
Damn, Odie left. He thought you were mad at him.
He's dealing with the mama. Get out of here.
Okay. I turn invisible.
Okay. Alright. I'm gonna just mark you as...
Yeah, I'm finding my ninja. Hold on.
Alright, you got the ninja? Okay, you do the nin. So you all see Bones just kind of like, alright. And then you see him kind of like take the ring and twist it, and boom, he goes invisible.
I'm a magic cat.
Cat has vanished.
You say that out loud?
Cat no more.
Door kind of like opens slightly, and you see that purple head kind of like peering out, and you see her kind of like, I still smell him.
Cats leave scents like that linger for a little bit. It's fine.
Stinky little creatures. Spraying
Right.
everything.
Everything. Just
Ah.
something like they got some necessity to mark their territory. It's ridiculous.
I'm just sitting there staring at Ashes as he talks.
What do you want?
As you can see a green haze rising from Ashes' body.
Ash is just stinks at all times. Is that the assumption?
The assumption.
But
He's a manly man.
Manly man. But
Okay.
yeah, we were just like we're meeting some of the teachers. We just met Professor Bring not too long ago, and we were making the rounds.
Ring. Making the rounds. Ah, you. You must be Ezrah. She looks past you, Ashes, towards Ezrah. Says, the headmaster warned me about you. Will I be seeing
warned?
you in any abjuration or enchantment classes?
I don't think so. Maybe?
Just keep in mind you have to take your basics.
Yes, ma'am.
Great. We've met each other. Super pleasant. I have work to do. She slams the door again.
Okay.
I kind of look at the guys. I'm like, so what were we looking to get from her?
Let's see. We were figuring out what we're dealing with and maybe devise a distraction for her.
I think we already know what the distraction is.
The cat.
You see the door opens again suddenly, and she goes, wait. And she looks out, and she looks to the north, and she says, what did you do? And she looks specifically at Ezra, no one else.
She knows.
Did you do this?
I step slightly away from Ezra.
Oh,
Couldn't breathe, so I
You're
Cleared out the
tampering with the
room.
faculty office!
technically isn't that your office?
Oh, don't you get smart with me, boy!
I step further back.
Isn't this a school? Aren't we supposed to be smart?
You see, like, her color changes from purplish to kind of like a more violet color. And you see her hold her breath, and she's just like, I'm not sure I'm gonna like you.
Okay.
Finger of death.
Okay. Oh! And she almost does like a banshee shriek, like, okay. You all kind of like have to
Overkill.
like, oh, like you wince, just like there's a little bit of magic involved in the shriek that she kind of like throws out. Like nothing to involve like a saving throw or anything like that, but enough to be like, okay, hold up. Like, uh-oh, enough to be living with mama?
no.
You're always
Uh-oh.
loud.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Wow.
Why she meow me?
Why she meowing me?
Aw,
Meow
she-
equals hungry.
Asymmetric mustache cat.
I don't know. I don't know, Mama.
Mustachioed cat.
IDK, Mama. All right. So she kind of like, Wormriddle kind of like gives this almost like banshee shriek out at all of you, right? And clear just like like frustration and like oh my god, how fucking dare you, right? Like towards Ezra.
De-escalation. So we actually ran across one of your
De-escalation.
flesh golems that you sent with Karstus to the Slither Swamp. Very impressive.
Kind of like looks at you, right? Ash is like slightly distracted, and she's like, she's sniffing, right? She's like, she still smells cat, and she's like, yeah, my flesh golems,
Yes.
my pretties,
Yeah. We actually.
Have you seen Karsus?
yes, I've seen Karstus. You have
Recently.
specifics in mind.
Recently.
You should clarify your questions, young man.
Yeah,
You're right.
Matt.
You're right.
Yes, I saw him not a day ago.
Shit.
All right then. Thank you.
That smell. I hate it.
Okay, we need an essence of bones bomb. That's
I got
how we
an idea.
distract her.
I got an idea.
Are you
Got
just
an
gonna
idea.
piss everywhere, Bones?
No, yes, that's what I was
My
gonna do.
territory.
Welcome to Cats.
I was gonna piss everywhere. Yeah, for sure.
Prow.
Oh, ammonia. Woo. Anyways, like Wormriddle seems deranged, right? And she seems disconnected. It seems a tenuous the conversation you are having with her. Each thread of it seems incredibly tenuous, as if it might just drift off at any moment, and she might enter into her own little land. So in this interim, in this moment, right, like where she is somewhat calmed, not hyper aggressive, is there anything you guys want to do or say or question of her? Anything that you would like?
Go ahead, Jay. I know you want to drop the "We know your sister's" bomb.
Say, do you want to mention the sisters?
No, I have learned that I
J1
cannot like show my hand or I piss everybody off. So
Jay,
I'm not
want to
doing
Jay
it
splay it a
anymore.
little bit?
Look, if we end up having to kill her because you pissed her off, I mean, that's not the end of the world.
Not doing
True,
it.
then
Not
she's doesn't need to be distracted.
I'm also not killing a teacher in Dramacore.
Alright, I think it's
First, I mean,
So-
okay, so you have to
they
assume
were they her sisters or her cousins?
cousins.
Cousins.
You have to
Yep.
assume if they were able to contact us, I'm sure they reached out to her. Like, surely, right?
Well, I think it's the right thing to do. So I'm gonna say, we traveled through the Sargoth level.
So there's a brief pause, right? Right, like, and as you're kind of like all looking at each other for like what's the next thing to happen, you hear the door kind of like as Wormriddle kind of like leans against it and
gonna close it.
slowly is closing it, right? Like, but her face is right there, so she's just like. And then Matashtai is just kind of like, so we passed through the Sargoth level, and she just stops, and she like looks at him, and she kind of like, yes, go on.
And we met your cousins.
She kind of like licks her lips overly much, right? Like just like, yes, you. Oh, dear cousins, yes.
The other
Go
cousin-
on, Matt.
I felt it important to let you know that they are gone.
Gone. Oh, gone. On? Have they left? Have they returned home? Gone how?
Was it Olive? The one that went crazy?
Olive?
Yeah, Olive killed him, didn't want it? Yeah,
Yeah.
it was Gurgle Brine, Calder,
Olive?
Colorfish.
What?
It's
and-
Cauldra,
What
Coral,
do
and
you-
Gurgle.
What do you know of Olive?
Well, so Olive killed all of them
Olive.
and took over the lair.
Olive did what? Olive.
Yeah.
Olive did what? Olive. She do it. She a fury?
No. She
Become a what?
A fury?
Oh, well, yeah, I guess technically.
Think-
She was yelling
think-
about that. So I'm
It was-
invisible out here.
Maybe?
She was pretty furious.
Hey.
Maybe?
Stop
You see,
biting me.
you see this kind of like glow on Wormriddle's face, and she's just like, "I'm so proud of her." Wait, you said they were all gone. Olive too?
Yep.
Yes.
That stupid bitch! I can't believe her!
You're an alligator.
She takes the souls of her sisters and then fails to live up to the splendor. Curse her. Of course, she was too weak, too brittle, too emotional.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, just thought it important that you know, being family and all.
She looks at you and she
we're
says,
gonna go now.
How? How, dear boy? How? How did you know we were family?
They mentioned it.
They mentioned it.
We helped the sisters previously.
You helped them. But you know of dear Olive's ascension.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do.
no. Even had
She just like
Portal to the water
deadpan
blade.
looks at you.
Okay.
Are you trying to hide? Okay.
Nope. Not gonna say it though unless I have to.
Well, I mean, if you're not trying to hide, there's no necessary roll because she's got enough of an ability, enough of an intuition, and enough of an ability to insight you to be like, if you're not hiding anything, she can see it written on your face, and she just goes, "Oh, tut, your cousin. Did she
Overstep.
use your aid to regain power?"
Yep.
yes, she did.
She closes her door, and you just hear this cackling behind the door. This just like very evil, very maniacal kind of like laughter. And then after a moment, the door kind of like opens again, and she goes, "How very, very apropos for my dear cousin to be felled by the very blade she used to regain her throne. I warned her that it was in her best interests to play nice with her sister, insofar as luring their trust for later. But she had to go and employ the..." And she kind of like looks each of you up and down. "The aid of outsiders, which in turn chopped her down. Silly little cousin. I would never have made the same mistake." And she kind of pats one of the pouches on her hip.
It's the eye. Shatter it quickly.
What's in the pouch?
She looks at you almost kind of like the tapping was a reflex, right? And she says, "None of your business. I don't know what you're talking about. Shut up."
Well, you seemed proud of it.
I'm proud of many things. Aren't you? Don't we all have things we're proud of? This entire conversation, right, is at this door where she's kind of like, sometimes the door's like wide open and she's just like standing in front of it, and other times the door's like barely open and she's just kind of like looking through. She's kind of like back and forth, right, like depending on her mood, on like how open or closed the door is.
Yeah, okay. Well, it was a pleasure meeting you.
I'm not sure I can say the same. But
Fair.
I do appreciate's the wrong word. I'm intrigued by the news you've sent me. Perhaps I shall have to return home and visit my dear sisters now that their souls are freed once more. Or, sorry, cousins. She would have said cousins, not sisters.
Right. I'll say, is there another coven?
Yeah. Okay. Feel like I'm gonna telling you. Have a good day.
She can like, see, shit. What's the guy's name? Seth Rogen and the guy that did the Kim Jong-un movie?
Interview?
Oh,
Franco?
Phil
Jonah
DeFranco.
yeah.
Yeah.
James Franco?
James Franco. Yeah.
James
Different Franco. Sorry. That one, right? Like the scene where he does the kind of like stand up and the kind of like moment,
Yeah.
right? Like there's a wee bit of that for a second, right? Like Matashtai, right? Where she kind of like looks like
Be good.
like affronted, like how dare you, for a moment, and then she's like, wait, where? And she looks past. She looks at Ezrah and she says, You are the student. You are the true student here. She sniffs. Cat. Monthlies are tomorrow. I guess you will be excused because of your newness. But keep in mind that on the 29th of each month, you will be tested in your aptitude to see your progress within the ranks, and reassigned your room within dorm Descentia or Ascentia. Keep in mind that should other promising candidates show themselves, those within Descentia are the first to have their membership amongst the Academy revoked. But she kind of like gives you this look of like judgment. Looks around. I guess if there's nothing else. Thank you for news of my cousins. Do not alter any runes you see upon doorways in the future, young sir. They are there for a reason.
To kill me?
What is the reason? Why
This
were you
is
hotboxing
my
this room?
private sanctum. You're not supposed to be here.
Oh.
How am I supposed to seek your tutorship?
You will see me in class, or you will not see me at all.
Noted.
When's the next class?
Wow.
When's the next time she'll be in class?
Also,
When's the
keep
When's
that
class?
cat out of everywhere.
Out of everywhere.
Have you met cats before?
You see her just like in response to this question, she's just kind of like, and she slams the door shut.
You know, I expected that conversation to be awkward. Somehow still surprised.
I feel like it went really well.
Yeah?
Hey, we should try and find out when the next time she's teaching for, reasons.
Knock on the door.
What do you want?
Hey, when's the next time you're teaching a class?
I will be administering exams tomorrow. After that, there are no scheduled classes until the 1st, as we break for midwinter.
Okay, thank you, Miss Wormriddle.
Shut up and leave me alone!
Hey, Bones. Piss on
Yeah.
the braziers.
What?
Ooh, the smoke will smell.
Can I first fix the runes so no one else
Nah.
has to deal with this pungent?
I'm gonna exit the room to avoid that.
I start pissing in the braziers invisibly.
Roll me an Arcana check, Ezra.
For pissing? Oh,
No.
Yes, Arcana
to
check
fix
for
the.
pissing.
Yeah,
For
absolutely.
stream.
You can kind of like etch back in the runes to like recreate the barrier that is on the doorway. So as you are leaving, you just kind of like casually, and boom, the runes are back in place. The barrier kind of like lifts, and immediately the room begins to fill back slowly with smoke as Bones goes about pissing on the braziers. Is that what's
all
happening?
over the place. All over the place.
Oh
All
god.
over.
You're gonna have to stop midstream and waddle across the room to get to the other one.
Spin around.
No, he leaves a trail between the two.
Yeah, right? Like, he's a cat. Who gives a shit?
Oh my god.
What are you doing?
This is a test. It's fine.
If she'll ever leave the room.
Love the visual of just
I
this
don't.
like, yellow stream appearing out of nowhere because he's still invisible.
Are you tired? Go to bed.
Tired.
Go to bed if you're tired. Don't look at me. He's tired.
He's got massive FOMO.
Look at it. Not enough energy.
Our cat, our smallest cat, Calypso, had a puking scenario a couple of days ago, where she was kind of like throwing up all of her food, right? And
When did you get a third cat?
Huh?
When did you get a third cat?
No.
Lippo is Calypso.
Lippo,
Oh.
Calypso.
I understand. Okay.
The smallest cat that we have had a something going on, but then she seemed fine, and now she seems still fine, but we're not sure, right? It's hard to tell because it's hard to tell when you have two cats. It's hard to tell which one is doing all of the eating. Right? And Odie has a habit of gorging himself and then vomiting
I think you can
because
make
he's
it
a little Tasmanian devil.
No.
Right? So, like, it can be difficult to
good
determine
boy.
even which one is actually throwing up, right? So, but, yeah. So, Casey's just concerned. Okay, it is a little warm in here. My hands are wet. Ugh.
There he goes. I told you he was gonna go to bed. He's tired. Yeah, stay
Yeah,
there.
There's that face.
It's that
He's
scenario
tired.
of, like, our downstore neighbors
Perfectly
still
in
have
the
like
corner.
the heat on, and and we're just kind of like fucked from it. So, anyways, continuing onwards, Bones marks his territory, leaving the chamber beyond, Wormriddle's workshop, just stinking with cat piss. And then you find yourselves all back out in the chamber beyond with that fucking laughing. Ashes, make a perception check.
Fucking.
How about to slap me a ghost?
Your sword is now missing.
I think it would speak up.
You think so?
20. Again.
You feel a hand again slip in. You feel something slip into one of your pockets,
So
right?
instead of like reaching for my pocket,
Giggity.
like I reach just beyond my pocket, like where a wrist or arm would be, and I just snap at it.
Roll me a dexterity check. Or a sleight of hand. Either way.
So, like straight dex or
Just roll me a sleight of hand, because it's basically if you're not trained in sleight of hand, it's just going to be a dex check, right?
how about a critical success?
Hey, you and grab nothing,
Damn.
and it's just like, what? Shit. Kind of like tap your pouch. Where do you keep your money? Is it all in your bag of holding?
I do not have a bag of holding. It's physically on me.
You tap wherever you keep your coin, and it feels slightly lighter.
I light the lantern of revealing.
Okay. Matashtai,
I like
seeing
the fact
Ashes,
you see me like
seeing
jerk,
Ashes
and you're
kind of like react and like, what the fuck, right? Matashtai lights up the lantern, revealing, but
Hello.
Yeah, okay.
Me.
Oh, hi.
You know,
What, did Bones stealing? Oh, is there
Bones,
gold
were
in his
you-
hands?
Bones, were you stealing? Do you have coin in your hands?
putting myself up, bro. What are you talking about? Now, you guys didn't see it, but I pissed all over the place in there.
Oh, I think we could tell.
Well, I don't know how. I was invisible.
Smell.
I mean, it isn't hard to tell when the smoke is a little bit greenish when it's.
and you hear this.
Yeah.
Just that.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay. You guys, you have encountered Wormriddle. What do you want to do now?
Oh, you guys want to leave?
Definitely don't want to stay in this hallway.
Yeah,
I mean,
I mean,
You guys want to like go sleep?
I mean, we could go harass Marta some
Good.
more.
I mean, I wouldn't mind. Like, I don't know. I really want to get down to the nitty gritty of why she's so damn hostile. Like, this is like a massive personality change.
So it's been a while, right? It's been a week. It's been a while. I don't rightly remember how much of a bitch she was or was not when we originally met her.
She was not this bad.
this door up here. We've never been in here. I'll walk
She
over
was
this door.
probably hostile.
Whoa,
She was
I'll open
not
this door.
this
Oh,
hostile.
hello.
As you guys,
Door thing.
as you guys are kind of like moving westward, trying to figure out where you're going, right? Matashtai, distracted by the doors that are flanking either side of the trophy case, right?
Jeremy, I already hate this new functionality.
Matashtai decides to open up one of the doors leading
hello.
northward. It's
lot of
a
that.
curious cat's nightmare, and I love it.
He's not a
and-
cat, though.
Look,
That's the other one.
Look,
We're
he
all
is
cats
as much
now.
a cat as the other one has ever been. But you open up the door, Matashtai, and you see kind of like in a large room beyond you, a sloped lecture hall. Right? There are stone sconces protruding from the walls, filling the room with light, and the northern half of the slope room contains stone benches, leading upwards in kind of like this tiered scenario, and multiple different rows of seats, right? And then you kind of like look around, and the south has a stone dais above which a large kind of like, now that you stepped in the room, a large chalkboard is mounted on the south, right? And drawn onto the chalkboard are 3 frog-like bipeds with these wide, toothy kind of smiles. They're almost kind of like amateurish representations. And they're arranged in a triangular formation. The top one is drawn in red chalk. The bottom left one is drawn in blue chalk. And the bottom right one is drawn in green chalk.
That sounds like slots.
And next to each of the drawings is a little bit of writing, right? Next to the red one it says Baka. In a tongue. What language do you speak?
None. Just assume I don't have it.
Really?
Same here.
I speak
Absolutely.
Common and Radrin.
Okay, gotcha. Understood. You're not in the room, Ezra. You don't get to weigh in on this unless you step inside. Next to the red one, it's phrasing in common that says Baka. Next to the blue one, it says Naskadsva.
Oh, sorry.
Bako Hospadaru. And then next to the green one, it said Naskastava Kali Hapsadar Zakharovsky. So
Russian.
something,
totally.
right? Something Russian. What do you got, Ashes? You have Infernal.
Guys, it
Orc.
says red frog, blue frog, green frog, go.
It does say red. That actually is correct. That is totally accurate. Ashes, you also are unable. Ooh, hold up. Let me double check. Gotta open my shut up. I gotta open my languages tab. Languages is actually, well, hold up. Ashes, you don't have. Oh, you do. Okay. Ashes, you do recognize this. This is an Infernal.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the only language I have that might actually come into play.
This is an Infernal, and it says next to the red one, it says the Baka means parent in Infernal. And next to the blue one, the translation is offspring of parent and host. And then next to the green one, it says offspring of offspring if host is spellcaster. And then also on the in the room itself, right? You also see there's the other door, right? But there's also two tables, right? And they're mobile tables. They're little tables on rolling wheels, right? And Matashtai, they're the same type of tables that you saw in Wormriddle's workshop, in that room with the flesh golems, right? And for clarity, so everyone has a good picture in their mind's eye, they're like morgue tables, right? Right? Like they're kind of cold steel with a top layer, a bottom layer, and then rollers, right?
More gurney.
Yeah, absolutely. And on one of them, the leftmost one, you see the body of a Quaggoth Obviously has been dead for quite some time, and its chest cavity all opened to reveal innards and organs, right?
True.
And then the other one is covered by a kind of bloody white sheet.
You're tired. I know.
The other gurney.
Yes, the one on the east side is covered by a kind of bloody white sheet, which is kind of reminiscent of what you saw in the laboratory in Wormriddle's workshop.
I'm just gonna take a quick peek. Well, what's under the sheet?
Is the
Fantastic.
Qui-Gon-
Everyone select their
the
tokens.
Turn order appeared.
Everyone select their tokens and roll for initiative. As Matashtai pulls back the gurney, and beneath, as he pulls it up, sitting up is this large blue-skinned frog-like figure that immediately turns and swipes a claw at Matashtai.
It's a frog on a dissecting table.
So it's a frog on a dissecting table.
Hey, can you make Mossy appear so I can roll for him?
Yes, I will. I will get that in just a second. I need a claw attack at Matashtai first, and it is going to be advantage because the creature was hidden. So that is a 22 to hit.
Yeah, that'll.
So
that'll
Matashtai, you reach for the fucking the fucking cover, and as you're peeling back the cover, this blue figure appears and just slashes you across the chest. You take 11 slashing damage, and I need you to roll a DC 15 Constitution saving throw.
Boom.
Okay.
Easy peasy.
Fantastic. Matashtai is not afflicted with chaos phage, meaning he is not going to turn into a slod.
Wow.
Oh God.
God.
So that's a positive note, right? And considering it is 10 o'clock and Matashtai's not afflicted with chaos phage, I guess we'll go ahead and end there tonight, as next time we will kick off a little bit of combat as the party has walked into the lecture hall and fucked around and found out. So thanks, Matashtai.
I'm trying to learn.
You about to learn today.
And I appreciate it. That is going to be the end of tonight's session. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. We will be back next week with more Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.